We have spent quite a bit of time in the last couple of years encouraging our Minerva stars to think about what happens when they get injured or when they can no longer play their sport or perform their sport, or depending on what it is. And none of us, I think Sam would agree, none of us ever contemplated that we would be having these workshops in a situation where all major sporting events are in effect, they're not on. We've now got 9 new sports joining us today, including cycling, lawn bowls, shooting, gymnastics, squash and diving. So this is exciting, but I think today is really, it's a very important session. So Glenn, I'm going to hand over to you.
Look, what an amazing time that we've navigated through over the last couple of months as we woke up on 1st of January 2020. Never would any of us have imagined that we would be working through an unprecedented time in society. Part of the Minerva Network is we are so convicted and committed to supporting your success today. And as importantly, we are here to help provoke some thinking about your parallel success, which will lead to future success that may be off the sporting field, off the track, off the pool, off the off the pursuit that you're performing with such excellence. And what's made you so good in your pursuits can make you really good outside of a sporting environment. And career management is a science. And
also a little bit chuffed that I'm getting to, I suppose, share my perspective and expertise with what I see as an exceedingly extraordinary group of women. As athletes, you all know that you've got natural talent, and it's the natural talent in combination with exceedingly hard work that has led to your strengths. And the same thing happens in a work or a career environment. You need to understand what your natural talents are. You then apply hard work, and that's when we get to your strengths. It's also important to be flexible, not only because it'll help you cope when changes come out of left field, but it'll also mean that you're open to other opportunities when they come along. And just because something wasn't a part of your plan doesn't mean it might not be a great thing for you to get either experience in, or for you to learn from, or try out from new things and that perspective.
So I think finding a support network for athletes is crucial. And for so many of you, it will be your families, but support can come from anywhere. And I know that this network, the Minerva Network, is a wonderful, wonderful platform. I mean, it's extraordinary to have this kind of thing available. I realized, you know, I'm going to have this dual track process because I don't want to fall apart when I'm 30 if I don't have anything else to look forward to. So, and I remember thinking to myself, after every major competition, I'm going to make sure I also have something to look forward to so I don't fall into this slump. And I kind of felt like, okay, maybe I can marry these two things, this post-sport career and my sporting, you know, not ending up in this slump. And so I decided that after any Paralympic Games or Commonwealth Games that I went to, I would try and do an internship. And so that's what I did. After the Beijing Games, I worked for the Department of Foreign Affairs in Paris. And after the London Paralympics, I worked for a senator in Washington, DC.
Probably like all of you, we're not afraid of a challenge. We're quite happy to take it on. That's why you're probably in sport. It's, you know, you like, we generally like winning, but also you like backing yourself. You like knowing that if you put in the hard work, you have the plan, you do the training, that you can actually deliver. So I always planned, you needed to have your double focus of your studies and what your professional career was going to be, as well as my sporting career. And I never saw one as undermining the other. I always saw both of them as being really complementary, because the skills you need to be a successful athlete are very much the same skills you need to be successful in business, and no matter what your career. Get good at anything without knowing how to be really dedicated and hardworking and knowing how to keep yourself accountable. You all know that you can't take shortcuts. Shortcuts don't get you there. Most of all, for all women, is back yourself, trust yourself. It's so important. You know, there's a reason you're good at what you do.
All of those sort of skills that I had learnt having these really bizarre jobs as I was an athlete or as I was studying, developed other sort of skills that I could then apply to a passion that I found through environment, sustainability and sport.
You have to remember your journey both on the field and off the field won't always be linear, and there's no roadmap to success with that. It just comes from trial and error. That your first path won't most likely be your final path, and it's always about adapting to that too. So I'm certainly not the athlete I was when I first started track and field, and I'm certainly not the person I was when I entered the workforce, when I finished my uni career as well.
Things that you could be starting to think about your careers and your life alongside your sporting life. However that's disrupted at the moment, there's something about just investing in you and doing that bit of work that gives you a sense of the next step. And you can see that next step. The future is going to be different, and I'd encourage you, as I think it was Lily who said she spent 18 months researching all of her sustainability work. Use this time to think about what do you think the world might look like post this terrible pandemic, because some of the things that we thought were going to be in place may not be. Some of the professions that we thought were going to be around may not be as strong, but other new things may be very, very strong. And you may well have the skills because of who you are and the work you do as elite athletes to actually teach us a lot about what we're going to be really valuing in a world which will be completely changed.